Hi, we're back with another video on our channel. If you're new here, subscribe for more videos and leave a comment below I subscribe so that we can greet you. Let's get started. Today was the final nail in the coffin for me. We had been dating for 8 years prior to marriage, despite the fact that my wife and I had only been married for 4 years at the time of this writing. I am 31 years old, and she is 27 years old. I am married with 2 children. My wife and I have 2 children and were happily married until she started working at a new job about 2 months ago. Due to her insomnia, she was forced to sleep in the guest bedroom, and she was constantly checking out of our house. As a result, our conversations with her were entirely over the phone. We couldn't reach her because she had changed the password on her phone. A month later, I began receiving text messages from a male coworker I had never met before. Despite the fact that nothing was found, I have a strong suspicion that it was transported to the location. Their main point of contention was that we were cheating on each other emotionally as well as physically. She begged and pleaded with me to stay as soon as she discovered the truth, so that we could work it out in marriage counseling together. I concur. Despite her best efforts, I was in agreement. She could only keep this emotional distance for 2 days before relapsing into her previous state. When I recently examined our phone records, I discovered that she had continued to connect with him, despite the fact that I had set a hard boundary, that we would not chat after hours. According to the operator, 1 or 2 of these calls came in after midnight and lasted for an hour and a half. Some people were correct in claiming she had been awake for an hour. Others, on the other hand, were incorrect in terms of the near future. I'm finished with this project. And I'm only interested in the most promising opportunities that present themselves. When it comes to my own home, I will not serve as a doormat or a backup plan for anyone or anything. One update. I discovered my wife's emotional affair. And I've spent the last 2 months working on myself to deal with the situation. She begs me not to leave, tears streaming down her cheeks, as she expresses her concern about tearing our family apart as a result of her violation of my clearly defined boundaries. When I discovered text messages from a male colleague, followed by phone calls that continued after I told her to stop, she decided to split our family in half. As a result, the quality of our communication has significantly improved. And she is now sleeping in the same bed as me, actively fighting for our marriage. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to have faith in her. Again, a part of me wants to sue right now. Get it over with as soon as possible. While I'm writing, another part of me wants to at least say that we tried counseling for the baby's benefit and that we were successful. I'm realizing that divorce appears to be the only option. I'm most afraid of divorce because I don't want any random person who comes into the house after she leaves to harm my child. If we didn't have a child, I'd rip the bandage off and call it quits on her. Right now, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm also bracing myself for the worst. After deciding to divorce, I've been living with my STBXW for the last 3 months. My ex-husband and I have been scheduled to appear in court in February. After I informed my STBXW of this, she inquired the next day. I'm worried about spending evenings apart from the child. Do you think you'll be able to stay until the summer, even if your divorce is final? Furthermore, she attempted to frame it in such a way that it would be advantageous to me, given that the location I'm moving to is further away from the baby's daycare than my current address, and that I would have to drive long distances each day to get the child to daycare. You should have considered it before you cheated on me. I tell her she should have considered it before cheating on me. I believe I was given fairly favorable terms in the papers, which we both agreed to sign calmly. There is no child support or alimony, and joint custody is equally divided between the parties. I'm not sure if I should be honest with her and tell her that I don't intend to stay in that house any longer than absolutely necessary. Or if I should tell her whatever she wants to hear until I achieve my objectives in the event that I am completely honest. I'm worried that my ex-wife will change her mind about the divorce agreements or bring false allegations against me. Story 2. My 28 male and wife 29 female of 9 years, who broke my heart and cheated on me after everything I put up with and sacrificed for her. I wholeheartedly agree. And completely shattered. Whatever becomes of this lengthy piece, I just need to get it off my chest because I'm completely broken, and have nowhere to turn for assistance. I haven't eaten or slept in 3 days and can't function normally. My wife and I first met when we were both 18 years old, and we've been together ever since. My life's path brought me face to face with and into the arms of a strikingly beautiful, generous, and kind lady who exuded energy and happiness. We fell in love right away. We married within a year of meeting each other and had our first child not long after. If this free-spirited personality was confronted with commitments, I could see him having a confidence crisis, kids, houses, and so on. When she was depressed, she turned to escapism, such as smoking, overeating, and constantly chatting on her phone. After a few years, I became less judgmental of her and more accepting of her personality. I even started gravitating toward her, sitting outside with her and watching her play on her phone, hang out with her friends, and so on until I eventually became friends with her, and my wife's daily compliments and affectionate expressions were a testament to my wife's admiration and love for her. Even after 8 or 9 years of marriage, she still showed me emotional and physical signs of her love. For me, this includes strange physical ones, such as sniffing my body odor and other such things. We had a lovely marriage and a nice home life as a couple most of the time, so my wife experimented with a variety of techniques to overcome her difficulties over the course of her life. Her 4-year college career lasted 4 years. All of them were incredibly intense. She then desired to be a salesperson, then a nail technician, and finally an online business owner. And she makes little to no money while doing all of these things because she is constantly on the phone or dealing with something. And, due to her hectic schedule, she is unable to contribute much around the house. I'm being completely honest with you. My willingness to accept it all stemmed from a desire to ensure that the partner I had chosen could finish and pursue his dreams. I didn't want her to have regrets in her life. So I worked extra hard, sometimes working 4 jobs at once, to ensure she could complete it all successfully, despite the fact that neither a bachelor's degree nor any special certification was required. I attempted to get my BSc in computer science, but dropped out after a half year because the workload was too demanding for her. It came down to her or me. And I chose the latter. She appeared to be going through a personal crisis following the failure of her previous business and the celebration of her 30th birthday, which I was completely unaware of until we had a disagreement 4 weeks ago. When she got home, she exaggerated everything that wouldn't come home, in my opinion. And when she did return home, she slept at the couch. She yelled at me when I spoke to her, and so on. She was a complete nightmare. Everything she said was influenced by our friendship. And she complained to me about not allowing her to do everything she wanted while she was doing it. And that she felt obligated to do certain things because of our relationship. She had the audacity to open up about some of the things that had bothered her in the relationship after 2 weeks of emotionally tormenting me in therapy. And I thought about it and promised myself that I'd change for her, which I did. And I'm now working every day to improve myself. We're still in counseling. As a result of my shift, she became more open to me, but I had the strangest feeling that something wasn't quite right with her. She gave me the gift of being able to sleep with other females when I turned 30. If I so desired, which she would never have permitted me to do in the previous years of our relationship. I became concerned because there was one particular guy who worked for her delivery company with whom I saw her frequently communicating on the phone and via text messages. And when I confronted her about it, it made me feel a little uneasy. She responded with something akin to my "No, he's the one, isn't he? Isn't he the one, even though there's nothing to do and the weather is so hot you wish you were there?" When she finally approached me, she expressed her appreciation and love for my character as a person, as the father of her children, as a parent in general, and so on. It was beyond her comprehension why she couldn't love me as a partner again. What on earth was this nonsense? A person's feelings for another person do not simply vanish as if they never existed in the first place. Following a relationship. She told her friend about her feelings for me, which only confirmed my suspicions that something wasn't quite right with her. I discovered that she had deleted all of her conversations with that person when I snooped around her phone. She appeared to be acting subtly. She was in his house, and while I don't believe they slept together, it doesn't matter because I have a strong suspicion of emotional infidelity. This gentleman visited my home and engaged in conversation with my child, as well as shaking my hand, among other things. It makes me want to stomp on his stupid skull, but I restrain myself because the kids need my help with this. My relationship with her was on the verge of disintegration. And I was giving her space, letting her go out whenever she wanted, and trying my hardest to be a better person. When I finally told her she could asterisk herself and leave me alone, she knew I would respect her decision. My ultimate limit is undone cheating, and she's crossed it with her attitude. I've come to the end of mine. Even after all these years, finding out you've been cheated on is a horrible experience that can have a negative impact on your self-esteem. We also have 3 children who are completely reliant on us. I'm always thinking about them, which is why I've done everything I can to keep our marriage together. But I'm beginning to worry that there's nothing else I can do at this point. Her emotional abuse has harmed me to the point where I will never trust another woman again. Again, in my opinion. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And do share with your friends so we may continue to create them. To see more videos like this, subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Additionally, make sure to check out our other videos. Thank you for watching.